15 minutes to teach what I want to share with you. But this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to write down. Because writing is creation. The first time that thoughts, ideas, vision, even prophecy comes to pass is when you write things on paper. So in the ancient Israel, for those of us that are Christians, when the king assembles people, there will be a prophet and there will also be a scribe. The scribe will write and document what the prophet has said or is saying to check whether that prophet is truly a man of God. And to bring it to pass, to present it to God that this is what was said. So writing is powerful. You need to write down some things because I'm going to be sharing some very valuable insights with you. Write down the first thing, information. In the 21st century, if you want to go global, if you want to really go global, you need to write and be particular about information. Someone say information. Information simply means valuable data. My name is Dr. George Essien, and I've been in this business for close to 20 years. I started in Uyo. I was born in Lagos. My life changed when I saw one particular information that turned my life around. Somebody said something in a meeting. His name is Dr. Sam Adeyemi. And I'm like, I want to do what this man is doing. And my life turned around. So information means valuable data that can move you from point A to point B. One of my mentors was saying, George, if you want to make it in life, you need access to valuable information. There are certain places and certain quarters that certain information is revealed that you need access to. Does it make any sense to you? You need information. And there's information on the internet. There's information everywhere. You can read magazines, you can read books and get information. But beyond information, young people listen to me, you need knowledge. So what is knowledge? Write that down in your notes. Knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowledge is organized information. When information is organized, when information is systematic, when information is structured, when information is sequential and relevant, it's no more information, it's now knowledge. Years ago, Francis Bacon said that knowledge is power. Some guys came and disagreed, no, knowledge is not power. Application of knowledge is power. Let me take it a notch higher. Application of knowledge is still not power. It is the consistent application of knowledge or the consistent application of relevant knowledge that generates power. Write it down in your notes. The consistent application of relevant knowledge that generates power. So we have talked about information, which we can have access to on the internet, but we need it to be organized, and that is knowledge. The person that helps you translate information to knowledge is called a teacher. As a young person, if you're going to go global, you need somebody to convert information to knowledge. Am I making sense to anybody here? Very important. You need a person or teacher or an academy to convert information to knowledge. Very, very important. Knowledge, application, and this is what we're going to. Look at me, everybody. Look at me. Let me come down. I can look at your face well. The last thing, skill. Skill. So, skill is a lot higher than action. Skill is motion. Skill is doing something consistently with improvement at the back of your mind. We have a generation that is a copy and paste generation. People are not fully baked. They have information, or at best, they have knowledge. But the world is not looking for people who have information or knowledge. The world is looking for people who have skill. Does it make any sense to anybody here? So we have local skills, and we have global skills. Write that down in your notes. You have local skills, and you have global skills. There are certain skills in the 21st century that you need to have that will give you the edge over others. One of those skills, actually I have done a research and I realized that I need to go back to the stage. Okay. For cameras. Okay. I did my research, and I realized that there are 7 skills, but I'm going to take just one, and that is communication skills. So write that down in your notes. You need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to present, how to do public speaking, how to negotiate, how to persuade. Because like my friend would say, life is a huge marketplace. You are either buying or selling. Average people come to life, and then all they do is just buy, buy, buy. Successful people come to life, and what they are doing is that they are selling. They're bringing a product, they're bringing a service, they're bringing something to the marketplace. Am I making sense to anybody here? So public speaking and communication particularly is a very, very, very important skill. Public speaking, particularly as a form of communication, is an obligatory skill. At some point in your life, the microphone will be brought to you. Public speaking, beyond being an obligatory skill, is a superior skill. The very moment you master public speaking, communication as it were, you separate yourself from others. Communication conveys clout. The man who can speak is assumed to be a leader. Does it make any sense? The orator is king. At the lower rung of any corporate circle, anywhere, emphasis is more on what you can do with your hands. But when you want to go high, focus is on what you can do with your head, your mouth. If you want to move anywhere, you learn how to communicate. Communication, public speaking particularly, is a global skill. What that means is that wherever you are, at any time, as long as you can speak, you are relevant. Beyond that, public speaking is an eternal skill. It means that if you speak so well, at a certain point, people will write what you say, and your spoken word will become written words. So one skill that helped me as a young person, that I learned from Reverend Sam Adeyemi, from the books my professor dad displayed on the shelf, helped me, was the ability to speak. It helped me so well that one of those days, I saw an opportunity on the internet, and they said that they were going to give a business person who could not just write, but pitch their business $80,000, and I applied. 600,000 Nigerians applied for it in 2013. I was among the 600,000. We did our writings. You know, Nigerians now will find a way to cut corners. They went, got people to write. At some point, the then Minister of Finance, Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, now said, everybody in Nigeria who has applied, go to different regions and pitch your business. So pitching is a form of communication that the entrepreneur has to do. And so from 600,000 we were cut down to 2,500, and then they picked 1,500 of us across Nigeria, 50 from each state. I was one, and that's how I got $80,000. The way you guys are looking at me, $80,000 then is not $80,000 now. $80,000 then, because they paid us in dollars, was 10 million naira. So $80,000 now is how much? Can anybody do the maths? $80,000 then, now is how much? So it's a game changer. Pitching, public speaking, communication. So I've mentioned information, I've talked about knowledge, I've talked about skill, which is very critical, and I've zeroed down on communication skill. The ability to persuade is so very important. Young people, it will open doors for you. Through speaking, I've had the privilege of training organizations like MTN, DHL. I've come to Port Harcourt to train oil companies because of that skill. And I told you, and I've said something to you, not just information. I said we have a generation that is a copy and paste kind of set of people. With people that are skillful, good at what you do. Because there will be a demand. There will be a demand on your abilities. Well, on social media, anybody can go viral. You go viral one day and they call you up. And then you cannot express yourself. You cannot show that you're really good. No, sir. Work on yourself. Move away from just being talented to becoming very skillful. Be so good. All this while I was in Uyo. Uyo is in Akwa Ibom. And I was doing trips to MTN, DHL, Rochas Foundation, from where I was. Because I was good. And the second thing I did, and I'm going to talk about shortly, so I I was skillful. Write this down your notes. I've left skill. I'm almost done. I systemized. So, information, knowledge. What's the next thing? Go ahead. What's the next thing? Skill. What's the next thing? Systemized. I created a business around my ability and my talents. It's not enough to have a skill. Created a business around it. Go to CAC, register the business name. Go to CAC, and you're not too young to do that. Go to CAC, register the Corporate Affairs Commission for a limited liability. Go to CAC because I know I'm a speaker, I will need to have an NGO. Go to CAC, got an NGO registered. Got an office in Uyo. Paid salaries. Let me tell you, let me shock you, guys. I don't say this to be proud. I have never earned a salary in my life. Never earned a salary in my life. Because right from when I was in school, because I was working on myself, because I knew where I was going to, I just felt, this one you're going to look for, why don't you just build yourself? And so, when I dropped my parents from university, I spoke at a certain event, somebody met me. What would you need to do this thing? I was able to convince the person to give me my first 1 million naira. I was 25 years old. This was 2006, 2007. I opened my office. I built a structure. You're not too small to do that. You're not too young. I built a structure. So when people call me, like one of those days when a certain company called me, I've told this story many times, I'll repeat it here. Called me, hello, are we speaking to George Essien? I say, yes, we're speaking to George Essien. They said, we want to invite you to come to Palton Morgan in Lekki, Lagos. How much do you charge? Something my spirit said, ask them, how much, what's your budget? They said, we invited Fela Durote a few years ago, and he gave 2.5, we gave him 2.5 million naira. But the CEO wants to actually give 1.5 million naira. Meanwhile, I've been charging 400,000 naira all this while to people. I just said, thank you, Jesus. So I told them, okay, I'll get back to you, but I'll get back to you through my manager. And that's how my manager was able to negotiate. And for 1 hour presentation, I was paid 1.5 million naira. How did that happen? I didn't just have a skill, I was able to systemize, put my business together, and all of that. The last thing I want to talk about today, which is very important, the last thing I want to talk about today, which is also very important, is scale. Someone say scale. I think someone say scale. I think someone say scale. So just to recap, because I want to do 15 minutes, information is good. You can have access to valuable information, but that's not enough. Take it to knowledge. Who translates information to knowledge? Teachers and academies. Go and get knowledge. Organize information. Knowledge is not enough. Convert it to what? Skill. Be so good at what you do that people are willing to pay you for it. Skill is not enough. One of the skills you want to master, communication skills, persuasion skills. I have a book. I have only 20 copies here. From here, I'm going to Owerri. I have a conference of orators happening in Owerri tomorrow. And that's why I have to come early. I have a book called Speech Power. Speech Power, in chapter 4, it deals extensively with persuasion. It's so thorough. If you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, I have only 12 copies there. If you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, just go buy the book. It's 5,000 naira, by the way. Open the book and look out for persuasion. It will help you. It's a skill you want to master. I also have another book there, Speak Like a Pro. If you want to learn how to present better, it's also 5,000 naira to help you to overcome stage fright and so on. So we've left skill, which is very important. Persuasion skills, negotiation skills. And what's the next thing we talked about? Next thing we talked about? Systemize, build systems. Start building systems. Let me tell you, at best, this generation, we are contractors. We're not entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs build systems. Remote jobs are fine. Making money from digital marketing is fine. Until you can build a system, build structures around you, and you can start small. Until you can do that, you're not going to scale. When you systemize your business, you scale. Does it make sense to anybody here? Am I talking to anybody here? So you systemize and then you build, you now scale. Scale means that you expand. You expand. Please let me say this to you. So I was in New York all the while. My deliverance came when I started engaging the internet actively. One day, somebody came from Lagos and saw me. His name is Dennis Song. He listened to me. He said, George, you speak well. How far? Do you have a website? I said, I don't have a website. He said, have a website. This was in 2012. 2013, I designed my website. 1 week after, I got my first job with Fidelity Bank to train them. And I was paid $1,000. At that time, it was 150,000 naira. That's how powerful the internet can be. So one of the ways that helped me to scale as an entrepreneur, as someone in this 21st century, as a millennial, because I'm not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial, was that I got into the internet. And so I started putting things. The second thing that happened to me that was a breakthrough was that I was searching the internet and I saw an opportunity for business grants. I said to myself, George, you have been talking about speaking. Can you go and pitch a business and get $80,000? I did that through the internet. The third thing that happened to me was that when I got to 2018, I now called a certain person to come to our company and train all our staff on digital marketing. How to do this, how to do that, and how to do this. And before long, boom. During the COVID-19, when people were going through tough times, my business was surviving. The knowledge industry was surviving massively. How many of you feel what I'm talking about? The knowledge industry was surviving massively. So, young people, my time is up. There's a lot I want to say to you. But a lot of people want to succeed without being fully baked. They don't want to go through process. Information is not enough. Don't be a copy and paste person. You will not go global that way. Knowledge, as good as it is not enough. It's not enough. Skill, you need skill. Look at the neighbor, tell neighbor, you need skills. I don't mean, the guy did try sharp. No. This is wow. You need skills. What's the next thing that you need? You need to systemize. Have a manager. There are certain skills that you need to understand that, look at me, there's a lot to say. There's a business dimension of your skill. There's a technological dimension of your skill. There is a managerial dimension of your skill. As a talented footballer, you cannot be your manager. You need to have a manager. As an actor, you cannot be your manager. You need to have a manager. So there's a technological, there's a business, and so on and so forth. You need to systemize. So we started off, blew up our business, and then we have a branch of our academy in Uyo. And just last month, by God's grace, following through the same process, we started up our public speaking school in Port Harcourt. Can you just celebrate us? We have a public speaking school in Port Harcourt. So now, I'm a teacher that can help you move from information to knowledge. I'm that teacher that can help you to move from talent to skill. Show you how to systemize and how to scale. If you want this information, if you want to learn, first let's start with this. Go behind. I have 12 books. Speech Power, Speak Like a Pro. Go get it. Let me just do this audacious claim. There are not many books on public speaking and communication in Nigeria. So this is one of few. There is no book of public speaking that matches that. It answers every question on public speaking, including events management. Is something that will help you really, if this is the line you want to do. That's the first thing. Second thing that you want to do, if you are interested in honing your skill as a negotiator, as a persuader, as a communicator, you go behind there, just write your name, my name and this, put your phone number. We'll get back to you and show you what next step to take. Have I made any sense today? Have I made any sense today? If I've made sense, please put your hands together for me. So while still sitting down, look at your neighbor one last time. Look at neighbor one last time. Look at neighbor one last time. So neighbor, I don't think neighbor heard this. Say neighbor. Did you hear what Dr. George just said? You can start local, but you must go global. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you. Okay? Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate it.
Please put your hands together for my speaker.